Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another show. My name is Tyler, and I'm here with Matt, the founder of ORATS. ORATS is an options analytics platform built on top of over 15 years of historical options data. Our dashboard is integrated with Tradier, meaning you can research and discover trades on our platform and then seamlessly send them through to your Tradier brokerage account. Today on the show, we're going to preview the new ORATS dashboard and dive into many of the new features we've added recently. Matt, do you want to get us started by sharing your screen?
Yeah, sure. So very exciting. We have an updated dashboard based on a lot of comments that we get from all of our listeners and subscribers. We've done a lot. Everyone wants to find trades, good trades easier, make money with less risk. So that's what we're trying to get at here. And that's what we're doing with our new dashboard, Tyler.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We've been working on this for probably 6 or 7 months, and we've taken a lot of your guys' feedback, and we recently launched the beta version of it, and we got so much interest we had to cap the beta. So that was interesting.
Yeah, so that's a good sign. People are looking for what we have, and we've received some feedback already. So let's dive right into it.
Yeah.
The big thing that we want to do is find better trades faster. And so, working backwards, here are the trades that we're finding out of my strategies. We also have like a backtest finder that we have had out for a while, and we find the best trades there. We have curated strategies that we've gone through and found and with the best risk and reward characteristics. My strategies are ones that combine the curated strategies and whatever strategies that you want to set up. And then option scans are just a way to get at your saved option scanners quicker. So all right here, all you could click on them, you could see what the back test was for this XLV iron Condor, for example. You could see what the back test was. You could see, all the performance metrics, what the Sharpe and Sortino was. You could take a look at the kind of the hedge funds returns, and then you could look at the actual drill down to the trade logs and how you would have done had you had these on. You could go in and find similar back tests. You could go scan for options, or you could go optimize this. So that's how we're getting to these better situations is we'll go in and we'll optimize a backtest. And what we're doing there is we're saying, okay, well, here's a backtest in green. Are there any indicators that would help us get in and out at more opportune times to avoid like these bad situations or to, enhance the good situations? And so we have this thing where you could click it, and it does take a while because it's doing a lot of calculations. So the p-value is a very important statistic that we look at. And Tyler, you've worked a lot on it. Do you want to explain a little bit what the p-value is?
Yeah, so the p-value basically explains what is the likelihood that the new returns, or we call them the modified returns of the optimized backtests, would occur by chance if it was just random, right? Because you could decide to get in and out, based on the alignment of the stars in the sky, right? And half the time you might beat the strategy here. And so you don't really want that when you're deciding on a strategy you want to invest money in. You want to know that there's a really good chance that it's not by chance. And so that's what the p-value is. It's the statistical significance or statistical likelihood. You want it to be less than 0.05 because that's like less than a 5% chance of that indicator having a random effect on the backtest.
And we find very few, only like, maybe 2 or 3% of all of, because I've gone through so many backtests. It's, this is actually decent, like a 39% chance that, so this is the ORATS forecast divided by historical volatility is.
So Matt, maybe you can explain a little bit about how we come up with that average percent per day value and what that means. Because there's two. If you go back to that pop up, there's two columns that we're looking at there, right?
Right. So I'm sorting on the p-value right now. I could also sort on the average per day. So what we want to find is, you could look at it like an overall return, but since we are limiting the entry and exit, the number of days that we're in by using entry and exit, I like to look at what is the average daily percentile return. Because what I do is I have a lot of different trades on and off at certain times. So it's not important to me to see the overall return, just, over the whatever 15 years. I want to see when we're in the trade. So for example, these green parts is when the green line, the dark green line, is in with the signals. Okay, and the orange one is just the regular iron condor equity line. So you can see, and I'll minimize this, you can see that it does a good job of being out when you want to be out and being in when you want to be in. And however, the p-value of 0.38 is not that statistically significant. So this may or may not be a trade that we want to do based on this particular one. But you can see the rest of the statistics. So the original p-value gave you a 0.005% per day, which equal to about 1% per year of notional return. Notional means what are my profits divided by the price of the stock, and margin returns are what are my profits in the amount of margin I need to have allocated to this particular option strategy. For iron condors, it's the amount of width between the short and the long is how much risk you have on. So that's why it's such a substantially higher percentage. But you could also see that we've increased the margin return, and we are in the market much less than we were on the initial time in the market. So, this is why the modified percent per day is so much higher, is because not only have we improved the percent per day, but like the overall margin percentage is better. So if you were to trade this and enjoy the returns that we had in the backtest, you're going to be doing a lot better than you did with just the backtest itself, Tyler.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah, it's so cool. There's so many stats here, and you can really drill down into the stats that you're trying to optimize. Basically, like if you wanted a really good strategy during the bear market, like you could explore these different indicators and test them out. It's really neat. And we do in that add data set pop up. The way it used to be, you could actually do this if you go down to where the indicator is in that graph, and you can click like the settings icon and change the settings of the indicator. We used to be doing this manually, right? And it was taking you forever to find strategies. So we've made it such that the system scans 3 different periods of the SMA. Every time you click that add data set pop up for every indicator. So it's running hundreds of strategies there and kind of allowing you to sort by the best value.
Yeah, that was amazing, Tyler, that we were able to do that, because I was doing that and I was like saying there has to be a better way, and we did find that better way. So anyway, so this is really the backbone of the optimized strategies, this ability to find them. And so then what we do is once we find them, you save them, and when you save them, it goes to your saved backtest. And so, you know, I haven't saved here. So here are all my saved backtests. And then not only do we save them in a list, but we're going through them and calculating, you know, do they meet the criteria? Some don't have criteria. So some are just my backtests, but some have criteria with optimized criteria. And you can see we list the p-values, and I could sort on those p-values. And you can see there are some p-values that are 5 and under. And, you know, those are ones that, you know, we look for. But, you know, again, I'm trading some that have higher p-values. I mean, I like the backtest themselves, and I think the entry and exit triggers are good triggers. Like, you know, like the ORATS forecast of the infinite is part of what we're looking for. You know, when you're looking at a long-term trade like this. So there's some very appropriate indicators out of all the indicators that we have. So, you know, so this is a very neat way, and you could run a scan on some of these, but what you'll find is some of these that you run scans on, you won't find any trades that meet these criteria. For example, some of these scans are looking for, like, the backtests themselves will only trade when the spread yield is at a certain level, high, medium, or low. So sometimes you only want to sell put spreads when the price is very high compared to the stock price.
Yeah, that one gets me sometimes. I'll click the run scan button and I won't see anything there. I'm like, why is that? So you gotta, if you go back to here, you can look in the original backtest.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, you know, you might not see this. So what we've done is we've set up trade ideas that could run just on your strategies. And it does take a while because it has to go through, you know, I have hundreds of strategies, as you know, Tyler. And then these are actual trades that it'll go through. So these are actual trades I could look at from all my strategies, you know, instead of having to go and, you know, scan on this, you know, on this one, or, you know, go to, you know, my backtest and scan on this one. You know, I didn't do that right. So you run a scan. You know, like, so you might have it where, so this one like has a target price, and there are some meeting this, but sometimes it won't. You know, sometimes this target spread to stock won't meet the criteria. So this is about a 1%. You know, so it wants to sell it at that range, min max range, and you could read what that means. So the spread divided by stock, if it's the option price relative to the stock price. So that's how you find, you know, that's how we back tested these trades, and, you know, find kind of the optimal time to do this short put spread, for example, on IWM. And then, like I said, like, I go through these and review these positions based on, you know, what I like to do right now. And then I could, like, say, oh, this looks interesting. I could look at the back test itself, and then I could look at the optimization, and I could look at this. I could sort by the Sharpe ratio. I could sort by the average per day and the p-value. So it's so cool to be able to, like, and the probability of profit, what the price is. So I could get a lot of information, even the forecast. What has the most edge right now? This Home Depot's short put spread has the most edge right now. I could drill down and look at the actual trade, and then I could actually go into the options chain, and I could see what that is, you know, looking like. So it's so cool to be able to do all this and see these trades, Tyler. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You know, just the more you dive into it, the more you realize how much it took to get to this table of trade ideas, right? Like, we launched a dashboard. If you guys are familiar with the dashboard, with these trade ideas from the Backtest Finder, about like a year and a half ago. And you know, that was sort of the first step. And what we've done is we said, okay, well, now we're going to add more backtests to the Backtest Finder. And that was a few months ago, where we added over 330 million, right? So now you have hundreds of millions of backtests in the Backtest Finder, which is a great launching point for just a more optimized strategy. So you go there, you find the strategy that speaks to you, and then you go to the optimizer and you use the power of ORATS indicators, which we have hundreds of proprietary indicators we've fine-tuned over the last 20 years of being in business, and you apply those to the backtests, and now all of a sudden you have this tool where you can look at the statistical validity of it and really quickly, actually very quickly, relative to the amount of calculations that are going on here, you can quickly figure out which indicator can be very powerful for your strategy. And then the trade ideas is just a culmination of that, right? And we're scanning on all your strategies to find the best trade. So it's just amazing how many steps there were to get to that point.
And so that's what I did just there. I started at the Backtest Finder. So the Backtest Finder looks at 300 million trades. And then you pick the best ones from all those. And then you you look at the backtest, and then you click optimize, and then you get here, and then you try to find if there's any good p-values. It's a little bit high in this one, so I would probably just move on. But that's the hard work that goes with trying to find the exact strategy that you want to trade. But it's very cool to do this. So we did have a question from one of the listeners, Tyler, that I'd like to address if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So this listener said, hey, I want to scan a list of stocks that I like and find the ones that have the best, ivrank, IV percentile, and all the traditional looks, and then find the best trades underneath that. And so I thought that was a good question, and it's not totally clear how to do that, so I want to show that. So you start, this is a little different than what we're doing now, but like this is diving the next step in as you go to the scanning, but not starting on the option scanner because you don't know what symbol you want. You start with the stock scanner. So this person wanted to put in a list of symbols. So I'll just put in some symbols. That you might use. So these are popular ETF symbols, and you can paste them right in. So these could be, and you can see what is happening down here with, we just have stock price and stock volume, so there's nothing really there. So, this person wanted, okay, so implied volatility, like you could look at some of our pre-canned, or you could actually just search for IV percentile. And, for a year, what's the percentile? So that you could display that. And then you could say, well, what's the IV rank, IVR? And then, so the rank shows up, and just you could display that. And then you could start to say, well, I only want the IV percentile that's lower than, I don't know, 20. So that it'll cut out IWM and diamond. So like the IV rank is less than 20. So, so then you have these, and then you could carry this over and you could sort on that. So the IV rank. So if you have a list that's bigger than 25, you could sort on the most important one to you, ascending. And so we just want to take those over to the option scanner now. So I could save this to my scans as, we'll just call this T-Hub, and then ETF, cheap IV. So that's what we're looking for here. So now we go over to the option scanner, and you look for that, and it brings in the symbols, and then you find, the strategy that you want. I could add a custom one, like I could do, I could add any type of strategy I want here, or I could just add the I want to, on this one, I want to maybe buy a straddle or something. And so and I want to do it in 1 week. So, and we could rank these. Like I like using the forecast value. The DTC is Otto. So Otto's here. He's awesome. Like here, we could ask Otto what that is, but that he gave a good answer to someone. He said, you know, it's the cost of getting deltas. So I thought that was a good quick answer. So now I could sort all these options based on you know, my forecast and also some distribution percentage, and it's finding, you know, this straddle here. I could also go look and like if there's not enough open interest, so I want at least 11 open interests, and I want the bid-ask market width to be less than, you know, 0.01 or something. And so then I have an option scan that I really like, and I could say, okay, well, this looks like a good trade here, and then I could then look at, you know, what the trade history was. So this is trading for 737 right now, but I could go through and I could say, well, where has this been? You know, like, so this was trading 8, but then in the market, the volatility came way down today, so the straddle's down as well. So it, you know, it's just a really neat workflow, and you know, you could send these to brokers too. So you could, you know, send this trade out to a broker and be able to, you know, do it, you know, put it in your positions, and I could change my positions here, and interact with brokers or paper trading, and it will go and we could put that into a paper trade. So, you know, very cool way to do a workflow for trading for all that. So that was a question that we got from a listener. And if you guys have any questions, just let us know, and we will you know, try to answer these, you know, on air if we get a chance. Anything else from you, Tyler?
Yeah, I like the different workflows. So I just want to kind of wrap up and like clarify what you were saying there. So we have, you know, in the first half of the show, we talked about the workflow of going to the Backtest Finder and then finding your favorite backtest from the table, and then optimizing it with ORATS proprietary indicators, and then going to the tradeideas table to see the trades there. That's one way to get to the trade, right? The other way to get to a trade is starting from the scanners. So you start with the stock scanner, narrow down the universe of stocks, and then you send those to the options scanner or you import them, and then you use the advanced you know, ranking and weighting system that we have in the option scanner to see your table of trades. And that's sort of the other way of getting to the same, you know, trade ticket.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing we've talked about, Matt, is backtesting that workflow as well, which I think would be really cool to do one day.
Yeah, we have had some questions on that. Like, and the way that would work is we'd go back and we do the same scans that we'd set up in the stock scanner to the option scanner with all the settings. And how would that have worked? But that's, as you can tell, that's very complex. And you know, we've reached a really nice area here. And so this is in beta, and this is going to go up September 1st. So everyone will have the ability to use this September 1st. But we're getting feedback from beta users, and we want to have a chance to, you know, add things, fix things, rearrange things based on beta users' feedback. So that's where it is right now. So you know, when you get this in your hands, it should be pretty similar. But this is the way. This is the workflow that we're looking at.
Yeah, we've also added, if you look at the top there, that help button right next to the tabs there. So this is on a lot of the most commonly used tabs. So we wanted to introduce, you know, this kind of step through coach mark interface for people that are new to the tool. Our tools are pretty powerful and there's a lot in there. So we're trying to, you know, put all the help in there, and we think that's going to be useful. So if you guys are new to ORATS, I definitely recommend clicking on that help button for the tabs that you're new to.
And auto is really improved. We're able to talk to auto like, why is this a good trade or not? So, that's pretty incredible. You want to talk about auto a little bit?
Yeah. So, we introduced auto a while ago on the website, and still there. Since then, a lot of AI companies have come out with better models, and we've been tracking that and integrating that into the new auto in the dashboard. And a lot of our dashboard users were, they would have to go back to the website, orats.com, to talk to auto, but it wouldn't do things like query live data or query, things like that a dashboard user would want it to do. So we've heard your guys' feedback, and we've empowered auto with the ability to look at our APIs and query data, of course, based on your live data settings. So you can ask it for, what's the price of this trade, and you just kind of, keep diving deeper. Like if you want to analyze historical versus implied volatility, you can ask it to do that, and it's kind of a great starting point for ideas. It's not a professional financial analyst, but it'll get you a good portion of the way there and get you thinking about some of the things you can do with ORATS.
So I like this the Disney Iron Condor, and so I'm looking at auto and asking, is Disney a good for a short volatility trade right now? And it has some pretty good. It goes down and digs into our data and has some pretty good feedback for me. It's kind of a medium type thing. So that is interesting to me. That's really cool, I think.
Yeah, and we just got a comment from Mike. Says auto in beta appears to be a significant step forward. So thanks, Mike. I mean, it really is. It's using the latest Claude models from Anthropic, and it's empowered with ORATS APIs and just more knowledge that we've had a lot of people using auto, and we've gotten really great feedback on auto, and people really love it. So it's definitely something we're gonna continue to focus on and improve, and make ORATS more agentic. And it sounds like you guys are really liking auto, so it's something we're gonna focus on more.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. So I think those are the big things that we've added, Tyler. We would suggest that you, by the time you're seeing this, it's only going to be a week or so out, and so you could come and try this new dashboard and just really see the power of it. And like you said before, I mean, our beta is closed right now just because we have so many beta users, and so but again, we'll be putting this into production shortly.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Matt. That was a great show. Really powerful tool. I'm sure you guys will be seeing a lot more of this in the coming months. And yeah, it's just going to keep getting better. And yeah, thank you all for your feedback on the beta, and yeah, all of your support. So thank you, Trader, for hosting us. Thank you, Matt, for the great show. We'll be back again next Tuesday.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.